2 to 3 times per year, I bite off more than I can chew. It's at these times when I'm feeling overwhelmed by saying yes to too many things that I need more clarity. Finding a chance to step back from the battle in the moment to see an overview of how I'm doing and what I'm working on. Here are the things that I do to regain perspective. These are the actions and practices that I take to help me think more clearly. Better thoughts come to you about an hour after walking. Finding a trail in nature that you can wander through for about an hour is simply magical. When I get lost in my thoughts while being lost in nature, it brings a calmness to me. We've all heard the stories of famous creatives who walked a lot. Darwin took walks daily, even if he could only go back and forth on a ship deck. Steve Jobs had his walking meetings around campus when he needed to talk to someone. And Thoreau wrote about how he could only maintain his health and creativity if he spent 4 or more hours a day sauntering through the woods. In his book, Deep Work, Cal Newport took inspiration from these examples to share the value of walking for deep thoughts. We know many of these examples of innovators who have stood the test of time because we think of them as being highly productive, but it's just as much that they were relentlessly consistent because of the downtime they took. A lot of the ideas for this video came to me while sauntering through the woods myself. I had planned to go on a specific trail that I like, but because of the snow, I didn't recognize the entrance as the same as the last time that I went there, so I ended up doing a longer trail that took me in a new direction. It was an hour and a half without encountering any other people along the way, giving me plenty of time to think and enjoy nature. Which leads me into my next point. Movement is medicine. I used to think that going to the gym every day was overkill. Now I use it to give myself an hour without my mind racing. Movement of any sort is another great antidote to overwhelm. Most of the people that you see going to the gym every day and have been consistently going there for years are there more to release what's troubling them mentally rather than looking for just physical results. A hard workout is putting that pause button on your racing mind for an hour. The next point is silence and solitude bring clarity. When I'm not getting in nature for a long hike, I'm floating to find the silence and solitude that helps me think better. There's always more inputs around us than we can manage to process. Email inboxes that compound with unread messages, Slack and text messages every time you turn around, and enough LinkedIn DMs to make you want to avoid the platform altogether. The only way that you can think clearly is to find your own voice amongst the noise. Giving yourself the chance for silence and solitude and the space to think is the next way of clear thinking. Some people like to accomplish this by waking up before everybody else or staying up later. Nature can certainly satisfy this need for mental solitude, but so can experiences like the sensory deprivation float tanks. However you find your way into the silence, make it a part of your routine to think more clearly. Take strategic breaks. Most creators will work in 2 4-hour blocks instead of trying to work straight through for 8 hours. This follows from what we see most virtuoso performers do. A master must practice deliberately at a much more demanding level to see any progress. This cognitively demanding practice can only be sustained for so long. Breaking up a day into 2 or more intense focus blocks helps to produce compounding returns on the effort. Use whatever tool helps you think best. We're told that paper is better or digital is superior. The reality is that you should use whatever tool helps you to think clearly. Maybe your phone helps you because making voice notes and talking through it or dictating is easier than typing or writing by hand. I jotted down the key points for this topic while on a long walk in the woods. The only thing that I had with me was my phone in do not disturb mode, and I had my journaling app open to capture these thoughts as they came to me. There are pitfalls from the ease of distractions with digital devices like our phones, but also just as many safeguards to make it a highly efficient tool for thinking. If your handwriting is so horrendous, like mine is, that it's not even legible to you, being able to type notes makes sense. I'm often in this category, and when I look back at journals that I've written from a couple of years ago, I struggle to read what I've written in them. Sometimes taking notes and thinking is just for you, like when you're writing in your private journal, but if you're clarifying your thoughts to produce creative work or collaborate with others, technology has developed to make that process much more efficient. Find whatever combination of use cases works for you. I always have a paper journal going alongside a more comprehensive task and project manager dashboard in Notion. The older that I get, the more that I realize that food needs to be fuel instead of pleasure most of the time, especially if you want to continue to perform your best. Whether physically or mentally, you'll need to choose your diet wisely. Eat and fast strategically for better energy. Experiment with what works best for you. For most people, eating higher carb meals throughout the day is not going to be a great choice. And the older that you get, the more that you realize that. Instead, fast strategically or eat low carb meals during most of your intense mental performance periods. This helps people to avoid those crashes and sluggishness that makes it harder to think. So if you want to think more clearly, this part of performance also can't be ignored. And get enough sleep. You can go for a very long time with working at your limit if you sleep well. This usually means sleeping more if you're pushing yourself hard. You won't see the best results out of yourself if you don't sleep enough, so don't even expect it. When you're stuck feeling overwhelmed, trying to work a little bit longer isn't the answer. Resting and restoring your mental capacity for another more productive focus session is. I feel guilty sometimes cutting work short to rest or taking a full weekend off, but when I get back to work and am that much more productive, it always reminds me how useful it is to recover well for high performance. Ultimately, thinking clearly is highly valuable. It's at the core of many of our jobs, and it's how we take control over our lives and the path that we want for ourselves. Thinking clearly also opens up the path to experiencing more flow. And if you want to use your clear thinking to get into the flow state more, check out this video next on how to enter the flow state.